Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Miller's Ale House on a wonderful Wednesday night, and it's time for the KSU Owls Show, the Owls Who Live Sports. How about a big hooty-hoo from everybody in the audience? All right, go Owls. We're here to talk a little about Owls basketball, Owls sports of all types, so we're excited to be here. My name's Chuck Burrs, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Robert Kinney.
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right, Robert. How about you?
I'm much better than you. Just to let you know at home, Chuck's taking this one for the team.
Yes, he is. He is under the weather, but I'm going to hang in there. All right. Good week sports-wise for the KSU sports department, athletic teams. Of course, the guys lost their first game in 8 games. Lost their first game in 8 games. Hey, Larry, can we do something? Carrick says they can't hear us out there at all. There you go. Is that any better? All right. So we won 8 games in a row. We lost one last Saturday to Eastern Kentucky, at Eastern Kentucky. So they ended our 8-game win streak, and we're going to get back on it again Saturday, I guess. So tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night
they play
at Jack State.
At Jack State. That's right. Girls play here tomorrow night, but the guys are at Jack State.
And then they're both here on Saturday.
But, you know, we had an awesome chance to take over first place in the A-Sun because Liberty lost earlier in the day on Saturday to Lipscomb, who we just beat on Thursday night. And we had a chance to take over solo first, but unfortunately we fell a couple of points short on Saturday night at Eastern Kentucky, and we're still tied with Liberty for first place. So the girls just continue to struggle. They're on a 3 or 4 game losing streak, and we wish better for them. And they play tomorrow night, and they hosted Eastern Kentucky here at the Convocation Center, and hope we can pull them through at that game. What's going on in the other sports at KSU, Robert?
Well, funny you should ask. The track team went up to Boston last Friday, and Sarah Hendricks and Isaiah Rogers both won A-Sun Athlete of the Week.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah, Sarah won the 800 meter. She's a local one from Allatoona High School. She won the 800 meter in a school record time. She also helped with a relay team that set another school record with the relay time. And Isaiah, who's another local, he went to Campbell. He won the weight throw competition by over 6 feet, which in a weight throw competition, 6 feet, 2 meters is a lot.
That's a lot of distance.
That's a lot of distance. So, and he also came in 4th in the shot put. So both of them had great trips up to Boston, and we'll see what they got next. I believe their next scheduled team will be at Vanderbilt.
At Vanderbilt. Okay, I know the men's tennis team, or the women's tennis team, won 4-3 on Monday, so they got off to a good start. I think they had a couple of matches canceled because of weather earlier on, so I think they're off to a good start. What else you got, Robert?
A lot of stuff coming up, but nothing else this past week.
Well, we need to talk about Aaron Fromm. We had Aaron on the show a couple of weeks ago, and they started off in Boca Raton this week. They came in 5th out of 14 teams, set some individual and team records. So good for the girls golf team.
Well, and it's got to be a pleasurable trip going to South Florida this time of year.
It can't be a bad thing. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get our Bearcat commercial out of the way. And Adam, see if our fan's ready to go on.
Do you need a delivery right now, as in go now, please? Bearcat Express has expedited shipping on hand-carried items, car, van, or pickup. Whether it's from Memphis to Augusta, Dothan to Charlotte, or even just Athens to Atlanta and all points in between, we've got the drivers to get your stuff where it needs to be. Whether your passport's still on the dresser, your 7-iron isn't in your bag, or you have a dog that hates to fly, Bearcat Express with their live tracking capabilities is the team to turn to. We are the go-to courier in the Southeast. Check us out at BearcatExpress.com.
And thank you, Blair Cook, for being a continued sponsor of both the Owl Show and the Three Guys Who Love Sports show at 5 o'clock. So, everybody, if you would, first time on the Owl Show, Mr. Stan Kirk. Everybody give him a big hooty-hoo. Stan, welcome, buddy.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Happy to have you here.
Glad to have you here.
Now, Stan, tell us a little bit about Stan and how you got involved at KSU.
Well, I was a student at KSU a long time ago when it's Kennesaw College, back in the 80s, and I was actually involved with the first baseball team in '84. So that's where I got started with my passion for KSU and athletics at KSU, and just carried on through the years.
And it all started with the baseball program?
Right. I was actually the first year there was a team.
Right.
Did you play on the team or?
I tried.
Yeah.
Didn't get much playing time. I mainly helped out with equipment and keeping the benches warm, and I helped the scorekeepers make sure they knew what they were doing, and so more or less not on the field very much. I did get out in the outfield every once in a while, but not too much.
So that's 84. That's you've been around the sports program a long time then.
All right, that's from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's 40 years, almost.
Thank you.
Close to it, yeah. Thank you for bringing that, Stan. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
happy about that.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, to imagine, most people wouldn't think that KSU would have a baseball team for the last 40 years.
I wouldn't have known that.
What can you tell us about, from its infancy to what we got today? I mean, last year was, almost on to the World Series.
Yeah. Well, actually, back in the beginning, we made the conference tournament the first year. We finished 30 wins, 20 losses.
That's pretty impressive.
Had a good team and went to the conference tournament, lost in the first round, but at least we made it.
Absolutely. So, what other sports have you started watching over the years? Or are you pretty much a baseball guy?
No, football, basketball, softball.
Anything with players and balls?
Yeah, anything I can get to.
Yeah.
I said with balls.
Yeah, I know. I sit with Stan at some basketball games, so I know he's at those. Those are fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you go to any of the away games, Stan, or mostly home?
When I can. For football, we went to Jacksonville State last year. Went to Cincinnati, and hoping to go to Texas this year. So
Yeah, who do we play in Texas? Because we've only got 7 games this year, right?
Sam Houston State.
Sam Houston State. That's where the infamous grill thing was.
I thought that was
Garrett-
Rice.
No, was it Rice?
Not Rice.
I think Garrett got in trouble by TSA in
I
Houston.
think it was Sam Houston State.
I think it was too, yeah. I don't think we ever played Rice.
I think it was the second year, but
Battle of the Owls if we played them, right?
correct.
Yeah. Now, Stan, you went to Sprayberry High, right?
No, North Cobb.
North Cobb, that's right, yeah. Carrick went to Sprayberry. So we got some good,
That's right.
some good old Cobb County high schools in here between Lassiter and McEachern and South Cobb and North Cobb and
Campbell
and
over there?
Sprayberry. Campbell, who? Oh yeah, Lisa.
Jan. No,
Jan went to
yeah.
Jan went to Campbell. That's right. Marlon's a South Cobb guy, so we got Cobb County. Back then there were only 8 high schools in Cobb County.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a few more now.
There's a few more.
Yeah. So, which one was your favorite away game you've been to, Stan?
It's got to be Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the atmosphere up there.
Even though we got stomped.
we got stomped, we knew we would, but we hung in there for a while and did all right. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Not at all. How about your favorite road baseball game?
Know that I've been to any road games yet. Hopefully going to Jacksonville State this year, so
Good.
I'm going to start trying to go. I really haven't been to a lot of games before this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Off and on, I'd go to a game every here and there, but finally really got involved last year.
Nice. Well, it was a good year to get
It
involved,
was.
right?
was. Coach Coe's done a great job.
And this will be his 3rd year. Is that correct?
Second.
2nd?
Right.
Okay. I know I went to the lunch. Did you go to the lunch that Carrick hosted for him when he was introduced as a coach?
No.
Okay, yeah, I got to go to that. I can't ever remember when that was. My memory fades me at times.
Yeah, I couldn't make it, but I met him after that.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He really is. So what is your favorite sport to attend?
Probably football.
Yeah.
Because of the atmosphere before and during the game, the tailgating, that's a lot of fun, getting out there with all your friends, tailgating, and then going to the games. But, I love going to baseball games too, so basketball, yeah.
They all hold a different
Yeah, that's right.
type of environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always find it a lot better when the pep band's at the basketball games.
Yeah.
they bring
helps a
some
lot.
excitement. Anytime you get to see Will the Thrill Renfro dance on the sidelines, that's pretty good. So, happy to see Will at basketball games, and Garrett too, of course. And good to see Bill Sherritt. How do you know Bill?
I actually coached Bill's sons in baseball.
Oh, did you
several
really?
years ago, and he coached my sons in football. I coached his sons in baseball, and then we
Small
helped each
world.
other out as coaches. And so, yeah, it's a small world. So,
That's pretty wild.
yeah.
And how old are your kids now? I mean, this
32, 28, and 26.
So this is
I've got
18,
5
20 years
grandkids.
ago
I've
that
got 5
we're talking
grandkids
about.
now, so yes.
Yeah,
now the grandkids are starting to play.
I can't imagine anybody else having a better perspective than you on how much this place has expanded and grown since '84. I mean, I went there as a junior college in '75, '76, but I missed a lot. I missed a big gap in there, but you seem like you've been connected pretty much since '84.
Yeah, I've tried to stay connected. If you want a little perspective on the baseball and the differences between then and now, back then we didn't have an outfield fence. So there's those cypress trees in the back. If the ball went in the trees, outfielder raised his hand. If it bounced in, it was a double. If it went in the air, it's a home run.
And you say this was 1984, not
84.
1914.
Right, 84.
Not like Ponce de Leon Park,
Yeah,
where they had
exactly.
the big magnolia in the middle of center field.
Yeah, didn't have any bleachers. We had one set of like high school, those bleachers, temporary bleachers. We had a couple of benches for the teams, no dugouts. It was interesting, but that's a startup program, true startup.
Yeah.
So have you heard or seen any of the stuff on the new stadium?
Yes.
A
Very
little bit of an upgrade from that
Yeah,
original.
we've come a long way.
Wow, I can't wait. That's going to be an amazing addition to this campus.
It is.
Do we have any idea when this is going to begin construction?
I haven't heard that.
Okay.
I
think
know
there's
they're getting closer.
Yeah.
One donor away.
One donor away.
One big fat
Big
check.
donor.
That's going to be you.
Yeah, it could be you. I hope you're not looking at Larry.
No, I was just pointing at the camera.
Oh,
but,
okay, all right.
Hey, it could be somebody from Liechtenstein, too. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Yeah, a lot of good things going at KSU. What do you think about the move to the ASUN? To Conference USA from ASUN.
I think it'll be nice. It's going to give us a lot of opportunity to have some bigger games, bigger teams, a lot better teams we're playing. It's going to be competitive, though. It's a big jump, and we're going to have to get the team ready for that.
You got to make it at some time, though, right?
That's right.
And now is as good a time as any. So we've got only 7 ball games. Have they added any to that, or is it still 7 football games now?
That's all I've seen so far.
Okay. As you know, if you move from one conference to the next, you're in a transitional year, and they've pulled away all the ASUN games that we had scheduled, so they can fill their schedule with other ASUN teams that are coming into the ASUN.
With
So-
really little schools who are now replacing us.
Yeah, they're really
their way up the
now
ladder.
replacing us, yeah. But come 2024, we'll be in a full Conference USA schedule, and that's some pretty good football teams, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I said, I can remember when Louisville, Memphis,
Georgia Tech?
and Georgia, I don't actually remember Georgia Tech, but not too long ago, there was a lot of what we consider really big teams in Conference USA. So,
Yeah.
this is a big step.
Basketball powerhouse then. They had some good basketball
They did.
teams in there.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah. But so that's pretty cool that we've got that forward to look forward to, and it's getting closer every day. That's July 1st of 2024. That's just around the corner. One of the things we tell Stan on the show every week is if you give $500 to Georgia Tech or to Georgia or Purdue or Alabama or some other big school, it doesn't mean that much. But if you give $500 to the KSU program, you become part of a family and part of a team.
Yeah,
and
good.
now it's a good opportunity to get on board with Conference USA as a sponsor, so you can talk to us about being sponsors at 4709-GO-OWLS, 4709-GO-OWLS. We'd be glad to accept any money, and all our monies go to the NIL program at Kennesaw State.
Absolutely. And, at the end of the day, you're sitting at home, it's cold, you're looking for something cool to do outside in the coming months. Well, guess what? Coach Coe is getting ready to start his second year. In his very first year, he's we could honestly say maybe a couple relief pitchers away from beating LSU and possibly sending us all the way. So, this is a good program to jump on board with and have some fun this spring.
That's right.
Yeah, it's easy to say that football is going to be a struggle, and it might be as we move up. But the other sports have already been participating against these larger schools in volleyball, in baseball. I mean, they got a great schedule this year. They got Georgia Tech and Michigan. They got some great teams on their schedule.
Michigan comes here.
Yeah, Michigan comes to Kennesaw State. How wild is that?
Well, and I'm sure Ann Arbor people are like, yes, please get us out of Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
But, that's a big school coming to what some people still don't recognize as the second largest school in the state of Georgia.
That's absolutely correct. So they've got some good ball clubs coming here, and we've got a good schedule. And they start pretty quick. I mean, baseball starts next week, I think.
Next Friday.
Next Friday, a week from Friday. So we'll be talking about some baseball next week as well. That's awesome. Stan, tell us who the most famous person in your phone is.
Say Dansby Swanson.
Dansby's in your phone? That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he grew up in our church, and we've known him since he was a baby. He played baseball with my son and was friends with my son growing up, and so, and his dad Cooter was an assistant coach on the first baseball team at Kennesaw.
Cooter was a very good athlete himself, but his mother was the best athlete.
She was
Nancy,
tennis player.
Nancy's number one tennis player in the state of Georgia. She was awesome.
Yep.
So
it's
Best
always
athlete in the family.
And that it's funny how many times it seems that is the end of the story. Justin Fields, he's a starting quarterback. Yeah, but his daughter or his sister's best athlete in the family, and I've been told that for the last 7 years. So not very uncommon.
No, it's not. If you got one good athlete in the family, I mean, look at the Kelsey brothers. They got one at center, plays center for Philadelphia, and the other one plays tight end.
And currently, they're probably the best tight end and the best center in the league, which is just stupid crazy.
They both play. No, never mind.
What were you going to say?
That was
ATI?
almost an addition by ATI, but he chose not to.
And we didn't talk about this on the other show, but I think it would have been kind of cool. I know they were toying with the fact of having their mother make the coin toss at the first of the game. I think that would be a cool little addition. I don't know if Willie can get away with it, but I think it would be fun.
Too many people with conspiracy theory, no matter how that thing bounces.
Yeah.
Dansby Swanson, well, that's definitely top two for us, I believe.
Yeah, we've had the best two probably the last
2
weeks. Yeah.
The guy sitting in your seat last week said, probably Samuel L. Jackson. It's like, okay, well, that's a pretty good name.
That's a pretty good name. That was Teddy Parrish. You know Teddy? TP, they call him.
No.
You might know him. He was at the basketball game a couple of weeks ago when I saw you on the Saturday. But he's part of, he runs the KSU Foundation. So pretty good guy.
And a former player from the early 90s.
Yeah, he played in the early
program.
90s, KSU. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. We like talking about all the sports here, but is there one sport that you like that you haven't been to yet that you want to get to?
I haven't been to a tennis match yet.
Yeah.
So that would be fun, and it's right there, so I just need to go by there and stop and see them.
And they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They are pretty good. Well, that's cool. Well, we appreciate you coming and being on the show with us.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I told you it wasn't that bad, right?
That's right.
We didn't touch you. Everybody, Stan Kirk, big woo, hooty hoo
We'll have you
for
back
Stan
on
Kirk.
soon.
All right, thanks.
So let's do Modern Image and get it out of the way.
Modern Image.
Adam, so we get Caitlin.
Modern Image is a locally owned document and photograph scanning company that helps clients secure and use paper files and photos. Whether it's important business files or sentimental family photos and videos, Modern Image is dedicated to helping clients solve problems around paper. Go Owls.
Go Owls and
Hootie
dogs.
Hoo.
Yeah. So we need to talk about something until Adam goes chase down Caitlin. Why don't we go a little bit and look ahead what's going to be coming up this week in KSU sports?
Well, I'll just back up for a second on basketball. We've been looking all year at who's going to get number one between us and Liberty, but that loss to Eastern Kentucky, they're in third place. So, we really need to keep our nose to the grindstone because we don't want the semifinals to possibly be on the road.
Yeah, we've already beaten Eastern Kentucky once, right? We beat them here, so we
split with them.
Yeah, we won home and home, right?
Correct. So
yeah.
I do not know what the tiebreaker will be. Usually in most conferences it is total points, but it's a biggie. Like I said, going on the road for the championship game is one thing. Going on the road for the last couple games, that's pretty tough.
It is, but we only got 3 home games left. That's what cracks me up.
Right, we are at home on Saturday versus Jack State, next Thursday against Liberty, and then on Saturday versus Queens College, and then we finish out the regular season at North Alabama and at Central Arkansas.
So who we have home? We have
Jack State,
Liberty,
and Queens College.
So those are the 3 home games that you can get out to see. If anybody wants to go see a game on the 11th, that's this Saturday, we'll be giving away 3 free tickets. If you want to text us at 4707-SPORTS, 470-9-GO-OWLS, 470-9-GO-OWLS. I got my shows mixed up. 470-9-GO-OWLS, or call us. I'll be glad to give you some tickets.
Just for the record, Liberty, the people we're trying to catch, has to play Eastern Kentucky on Saturday. So,
Is that at Eastern Kentucky?
It is not. It's at home, but that's still pretty tough. And then of course they have us in the next game, and then their final games are both against Queens College, which although we started out by beating them rather badly to start our year, they're up to 6-6 in the conference, so they're playing a little bit of decent basketball. So I think it's going to come right down to the last game, and there'll be at least two teams with a shot at it.
Well, I know playing against Liberty at home is a big plus.
Oh, it's huge.
I mean, the Convocation Center is rocking for men's basketball. If you haven't been out for a game, there's a good chance to go see the men and the women this Saturday for $8. You can see both games for $8, and that's pretty strong. $4 a basketball game in this day and age, in an environment like that with Will the Thrill and Jan and Alyssa and all these people. It's a fun time out at the Convo Center.
Oh, absolutely. And all you hear about is inflation and how it's killing everybody. Well, not at the Convocation Center.
Not at the Convocation Center. $4 a basketball game.
Yeah, you can't beat $8 for 5
Double header.
hours.
So
of
Bill,
basketball.
so Bill Sterrett, who was on our Three Guys Who Love Sports show, he and I are going to go Saturday. So if you guys want to go join us at a doubleheader basketball game, no football is going on until Sunday, so let's get out and watch some KSU ball.
Absolutely. So coming up, I know the lacrosse girls start on Friday, and the softball starts on Friday. So big stuff happening around town. The lacrosse girls will be versus Reinhardt, and then they'll actually make their 4th game of the year will be in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, wow. Softball?
No, this is lacrosse.
Oh, lacrosse.
Lacrosse is going 3,000
They're going
miles.
across the country to play lacrosse.
Boy, you thought Chuck's chumps were gone, didn't you?
They better ducks when they throw that lacrosse ball.
Robert, stop him.
Oh Lord, I can't stop.
And
it.
we had Laura on the women's lacrosse coach on our very first KSU Owl show, and I found out recently she lives like a half mile from me, so that's wild.
She was a great guest because 1, we love to have her. 2, she didn't know she was going to be on the show, and she was just kind of thrown in, and that was very, very fun.
We've had some very, very interesting guests on this show.
We definitely have.
From Samuel L. Jackson references to now Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson.
We had a Philadelphia center fielder, the guy with the long hair. I can't remember his name. But one of the guys went to high school, played high school ball with him.
So the softball also starts on this Friday. They're in Montgomery, Alabama, and they'll be playing Tennessee Tech and UT Martin.
Must be like a
Little tournament.
Tournament.
Little preseason tournament. So it's we play Tennessee Tech on Friday at 3 o'clock, and then 5:30 we're playing UT Martin, and then we play Tennessee Tech twice on Saturday and UT Martin once on Sunday. So 5 games, 2 teams. Get the ball rolling. And then we'll be at home versus Mercer on the 15th. So that'll be our first home game before we go back out on the road, back to Alabama for another tournament.
That's a week from today.
That is correct.
Today
Next
being
Wednesday.
the 8th, yeah.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on Caitlin to join us, Robert, you want to go ahead and get another commercial out of the way? Let's do modern imaging.
Oh, we'll do Supreme Lending.
Let's do Supreme Lending.
Supreme Lending was founded in 1999 with one goal in mind, to improve the mortgage process. And since then, we've been doing just that. Here we deliver exceptional service and some of the fastest turn times in the industry. Our team will stay in touch with you throughout the process and get your home closed quickly and conveniently. Whether you're buying or refinancing, our goal is to have your loan clear within the first 30 days so you can focus on the other details that you're faced with. Whether it's your first mortgage or your 1,000th, make it a Supreme one, and check us out at alvinjameson.com.
AlvinJameson.com. Thank you, Alvin, for being a supporter of the KSU Owls Show, and also for Three Guys Who Love Sports, along with Blair Cook and David McDonough with Modern Image. So we're happy to have all our sponsors on board. And if you want to be a sponsor too, you can text us at 470-9GO-OWLS. Costs you $100 a month, and you'll get 8 commercials on 2 different radios on a lot of different platforms: YouTube,
Absolutely.
Spotify, Twitch, and Facebook. So we're happy to have you on board. We are waiting on our athlete of the week, and she is
She's working.
She also working tables here at KSU at Miller's Ale House. So why don't we see if we can bring Garrett in for a minute, if Garrett would come on. Hey, Garrett. Oh, wait. Caitlin's coming? Oh, that's not Caitlin.
Oh, Garrett.
Garrett. Garrett. Just fill in for a couple of minutes. Come on.
We need to have this guy on the show
Garrett.
more often. And it's not fun being his dentist and having to pull teeth right now.
No, but he's good.
Oh, he's great, and he needs to be on
He's
the show
awesome.
more often. My one fan.
Oh, you got more fans now.
Yeah, you got to put on those, and then
the big hootie hoo from my buddy Garrett Brackett.
hootie hoo.
Hootie hoo.
Fans.
Who?
How many fans? How many fans does he have?
There she is. Caitlin's back.
Tons
Wasn't
of
ready
fans.
for that.
Tons of
So
fans.
we
That
won't.
was loud.
Yeah, Caitlin's kind of busy, so we wanted a little fill-in time.
Oh, okay.
So tell us your perspective on the game Saturday night, because you actually watched it on ESPN Plus, right?
Yes, but you're going to have to refresh my memory. It's been a busy day.
Eastern Kentucky.
Oh.
So Garrett and I, we text some over the weekend when we're watching ball games, and
I thought for sure we had that game. I mean, I texted you and I said, Eastern Kentucky looks tired. And I thought they did. And then, I mean, they just came out of nowhere. And like I told you, it's not like our guys didn't give up. Like I've seen in the past years. They gave it their all, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, I don't know where Eastern Kentucky came from.
Eastern
I think
Kentucky.
it was Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
But, I mean, a 3-point road loss to the third-best team in the conference is not
It's
exactly...
nothing to be ashamed about.
No, I mean, not at all.
But,
But-
it was ours for the taking.
And they actually play Liberty this weekend,
Yes.
Eastern Kentucky. So I guess we're pulling for Eastern Kentucky because we've split with them already.
That's correct. We'd like to go into that Liberty game with a 1-game lead and then beat them and have a 2-game lead plus the tiebreaker.
It's tough not to root against Eastern Kentucky, though, after Saturday.
Yeah,
But I
No,
feel the point percentage here, and I understand.
And your point's well taken.
Yeah. It's now we get beat by them pretty bad in the football season too. Eastern Kentucky went up there late in the year, or did we beat them?
I actually don't even remember.
I don't remember. Will would know.
Hold on.
Will went up
He
to the
heard.
game.
Eastern Kentucky and Kennesaw for football. Who won?
Garrett's checking with our.
He said they beat us.
Yep, that's what I thought. I thought they had beat us. Wasn't but a lot. But it seemed like it was a close game, and then they blew us out. Maybe at the end.
He said 1 touchdown.
It'd be the end of the year.
It was the last game of the season, 38-45 at Eastern Kentucky.
38-45 at Eastern Kentucky. I would think we have a few more points in that in the basketball game.
Yeah, I think we're going to have more than 38.
Yeah,
We might actually have 83, which was the total.
be the combination. Yeah, we can score some points. The one thing that I know is just like it seems like the last several ball games I've been, there's been no one clear leader. That it's been pretty even from a scoring perspective across the board.
And that is something that when I'm watching basketball, I always question, like, what happens when that one person gets hurt or injured?
Brock Purdy.
Or yeah. I mean, and what do you do at that point? I love the fact that you're hearing everybody's name on the court all the time. It's not just one player. And I love the fact that Amir is pushing Terrell to shoot, to go for it, and to draw the fouls that he's drawing. Maybe they just need to be a little bit more aggressive on that, especially when we're getting behind in the fouls. Because I've seen that we're doing that. I mean, it's easy to coach from here, right?
Absolutely.
It's easy to coach from
on
here.
Wednesdays. It's very easy.
And if I was sitting by Amir, I go, "You did a great job. I got nothing to say."
I got nothing to say.
But as a fan, you watch,
Right.
You can see things differently, you know.
Well, and I know that there's a lot. I know a lot of coaches are very talented, even if we don't know their entire history or
Correct.
record. But because he is a local guy, we know how talented he is, and I think it's extra special. Kind of like what we talk about with Dion, where if you're a two guard, this might be who you want to spend a lot of time with.
Yeah.
Because this guy can show you a lot of things.
Yep.
Something I'd like to see. I'd really like to see Alex Peterson and Damon Robinson on the floor together, and run some kind of double low post, and let them, because they're two pretty efficient guys on the inside. Peterson's, he might be a little bit quicker than Damon Robinson, but he's not the bulky, big old guy like Damon Robinson is.
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed from them too lately is they're having fun together.
Yeah.
And when the refs are calling garbage, they support each other. And I haven't seen that. I've seen it the last 3 years, but prior to that, it was they were at each other's throats a lot.
Right.
There were great players out there. I'm not knocking any of them, but there's a culture and a dynamic that Amir has brought to Kennesaw State that is it's exceptional.
A lot more
it's the
cohesive.
It's the way we want to see the whole world be, and he's done it in a small team atmosphere.
And let me say this about this. One of the dangers of that happening and being a great coach like Ramir, somebody's going to scoop him up.
No.
Don't want it to happen, but can it happen?
Yeah, sure, it could happen. I always question why is Bohannon still here? Why?
Same thing,
Why
yeah.
is Schunzel still here?
Yeah.
I mean, I think what Schunzel says is he loves it here.
Yeah.
He loves the culture of Kennesaw State.
He's talking about Keith Schunzel, the women's volleyball
sorry.
coach.
And Schunzel only goes south. We know that. He's never heading anywhere
He's
back
never
north.
going back north. But there is a culture at Kennesaw State, which is developed through most of the coaches that I've met. And I'm sure it exists with some of the coaches I haven't met. And I want to see them continue to build on that. It's because the culture that they're building here, it's absolutely amazing. That's more important because that's going to carry forward after their time at college. If they're not playing sports, they're going to remember all of the things that the coaches have invested in them, and they're going to apply that to their lives, to their communities, and to the people that they mentor later on in life. I mean, and that's the full circle of what athletics is, because it's not everything is sports as much as we love it.
And, something else that these guys will probably all take with them, they'll be, having 10-year reunions and going, what were those guys yelling all the time? Whose ball?
Al's ball.
Whose ball?
Al's ball.
But at the end of the day, that's something else that gets brought to these games, and these kids do remember.
And real quick before we let Garrett go, because Caitlin's here now, but I got to say this about Garrett's kids. Garrett's kids are the perfect example of what I think KSU fans ought to be. They don't love the Bulldogs. They don't love the Jackets. They love the Owls.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what we need more of in our community is people that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but the kids, all these young kids that love the Bulldogs, they need to be loving the Owls too if they never went to KSU because they want to go to KSU. I guarantee you.
Yep.
These kids are all about KSU, and
They go loco at the game.
they do, and dance cam on, and it's a nightmare.
Oh, my
yeah.
goodness.
But God love him, especially Henry. He's got a little fractured finger, so we'll be praying for him. Garrett, we appreciate you sitting in for
Thanks
us
for
for a
having
couple
me.
minutes. Always great. Big hooty hoo for Garrett Brackett. And now we're bringing in Caitlin Carl. Caitlin. Let's go ahead and do a commercial before we go on.
We've done all our commercials.
We already did Modern Image?
We did them all.
Good. Yes, we know. We hear the clapping. Caitlin, welcome back.
Hi, welcome.
We had a little sound issue the last time we had Caitlin on, so we wanted to get her back on and let her tell her javelin story again. She is on the current javelin team, isn't that correct?
Yes.
So what's going on with track and field?
So the rest of the team has just started their indoor season, and it's been going very well. Kennesaw's weight throw, the guys are actually number 1 in the NCAA right now. So hopefully when March rolls around and outdoor season starts, javelin will be able to follow it up and also take a pretty high spot.
Yeah. What are your aspirations? What are your goals for this year?
I would love to take first in conference this year. I got second the past 2 years that I competed, so hopefully this year will be my time to take home gold.
But as I remember from last time, the girl who you were second to was from Jack State, and she's no longer there.
No, she's no longer there, and I was so glad that she won. She was a good friend of mine. Javelin is has a lot more sportsmanship than a lot of the other events. We're a lot more close-knit because there's so few of us that we have to run into each other and support each other wherever we can. So she's no longer there, but I might have a couple girls from Liberty that are going to give me some good competition.
Okay, well, then I have a couple more people that I'm going to dislike.
Those people from Liberty. That's
Absolutely.
right. So when's your next competition?
I believe my first meet of the year is March 24th, and pretty soon after that we'll have a home meet at Kennesaw, so if anyone's in the area, they're welcome to come watch.
I'll certainly come watch.
Please do.
And where's your away match?
The away meet, early on I know that we're going to Texas. We might go to Georgia Tech one time. But right now I think our first meet
is in Raleigh at NC State.
That sounds about right, yeah.
That's a fun campus.
I'm guessing they're going to be in Raleigh at NC State. They'll be in Texas.
In Austin?
In Austin, yes, sir.
Music capital of the South.
And,
It'll be a great place.
They'll be playing at Tech. They'll be playing at Georgia. All sorts of good ones. And then you close out the Penn Relays in Philadelphia right before the ASUN Championships.
Oh, yeah, this year is stacked with some of our most competitive meets that we've had since our new head coach came in.
That's pretty awesome. So they're aggressively going out and looking for these types of matchups?
Oh, yeah. Our new head coach, he came in my freshman year, so this is his 5th year. He's been at Kennesaw as long as I have, and ever since he came, he's really changed the program. He got us our first home meets. He got us into bigger meets than Kennesaw usually goes to, so he's definitely an aggressive get-out-there coach.
That's awesome.
So is this your last year of eligibility?
It is, yeah. I'm really not looking forward to not being an athlete anymore.
Yeah, what does a professional javelin thrower do after college?
Well,
What is it Caitlin wants to do?
I'm getting my master's in criminal justice right now, so hopefully I'll be law enforcement with a spear. And I hope to go into some crime analysis or criminal profiling at some point.
Clarice Starling over here is
Clarice Starling.
just a little scary. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I'm an intimidating person.
I could see that, yeah. But you'd be good on, like, Law and Order, SVU or whatever. That's good shows.
Oh, absolutely. And I've already interned one semester with our Cobb County Victim Witness Unit.
Oh, have you
And I
really?
worked with the victim advocates for a while.
That's
and
awesome.
so I might look intimidating, and I might do some scary things like throw spears, but I'm actually very good at helping people.
You're very funny, too. She has some great stories that she has shared with us. Some we can't put on the air.
I don't
don't
think
think-
I've ever heard one that I can share.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're air appropriate.
Yeah, but they're good ones. They're funny ones. Oh, gosh. So if you didn't throw the javelin, what other events would you be good at in track?
So I didn't start javelin until right before college. I'd never done it in high school.
Yeah, tell them the story about how your dad got you involved in that, because I remember that. And
Yeah,
since people didn't hear it the first time.
So I was a softball player for 14 years, ages 4 to 18. I played basketball from ages 5 to 18, and I was a hurdler all throughout high school, but I also ran distance before that. So I probably would have done hurdles otherwise. I had actually gotten an offer for recruitment from another college, but it was like a small D3 school, and I decided I was going to come to Kennesaw for academics. And my
Because
dad...
of the program that you're currently taking was offered by them and not the other school.
Yes.
The criminal justice,
Yes. And my dad, being a college baseball coach, did not want his firstborn not to be a college athlete. So a month before coming to Kennesaw, I'd already been accepted and everything. I was already enrolled. And he was like, you're going to learn how to throw javelin. Did not like that idea at all. That's a sharp stick. You keep the point really close to your eye when you throw it. I was not a big fan of the idea, but he had already paid for the lessons. So I went out there and I learned. I took 4 lessons in javelin, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun. Now I know I can do it, but I'm still off to Kennesaw. There's no going back on that. And on my first day of classes, right after my first class, freshman year, I get a call. And I was like, hey. And they were like, is this Caitlin Corral? And I was like, it is. And they're like, you're a javelin thrower. And I was like, who's calling?
I've thrown 7 in my life.
And I was like, who's calling me right now? And they're like, my name's Andy. I'm the head coach currently for Kennesaw Track and Field. And I hear you throw javelin about 30 meters. Is that correct? I was like, 30, 35, yeah, but I've only thrown like 4 times. I'm not a javelin thrower. And he was like, well, I've already added your name to the roster. Come see me Monday. And I've been throwing ever since, and I've been blessed enough to be pretty good at it.
Now, I got a question. When your parents were trying to look for somebody to teach you javelin, what do they look at? Javelins Are Us in the Yellow Pages or what? How do you find somebody that coaches javelin?
So at the time, my dad was coaching baseball for Mizzou, and I guess he had met one of their javelin coaches, a guy that had been to the World Championships and threw pretty well in his day, was teaching javelin throwers at Missouri, and I guess he just happened to meet my dad. My dad being a pitching coach and like talking about throwing techniques, he talks to everyone. So I guess they were discussing the difference between baseball and javelin, and my dad was like, maybe my daughter should throw, and just got me signed up for lessons right there with the Mizzou coach, or one of their volunteers, I
Once a
think.
coach, always a coach.
There you go.
Always.
Now, do you see yourself playing other sports once you're out of college, like in a fun league or whatever?
I've considered possibly continuing javelin and maybe finding a way to pay to travel to meets unattached and compete there, not affiliated with any NCAA school. But that would be very costly, and criminal justice, if I were to work in law enforcement, it would be I'd be a critical employee. So I wouldn't be able to travel too far out of the way, because if I get on call and I have to be somewhere, I'd have to be there. So.
But you know, this meet that the indoor team just had last Friday at BU, I noticed there were some professionals that, you know, it wasn't just college. So there are opportunities to possibly play here and there. And,
Yeah, it happens all the time, and usually those professionals are aligned with one of the college coaches.
Okay.
And their connections can get them into meets. So maybe I'll have to talk to my coach, because I know he already works with a few professionals. We have a volunteer coach who runs a throwing program called Throw One Deep, and he's one of the greatest coaches in the country. So he might be able to help me. I don't know how much he works with javelin, or maybe my head coach will be able to help me a little bit, but I haven't decided yet. The career will come first.
There you go.
But either way, Chuck, she's going to be an athlete. She told you, I played this for 14 years. I did this for 12 years. I did this. You know, this is not somebody who's graduating in Maine. Okay, here's my shoes, and you know, I'm just done with everything. One question I wanted to ask you. I forget what you called it. It's the thing you wear.
Oh, yeah. So I use this arm sleeve to protect my shoulder. It's called Kinetic Arm.
But it's like connected to the rest of your body so that the arm's not out there by itself.
Oh,
right?
yeah. It goes all the way up my arm and across my body, and it keeps everything in place. It compresses my elbow, my shoulder, right where my deltoid connects to my bicep. I've had a lot of trouble with, and it's called Kinetic Arm, and it helps me take twice as many throws before I feel any kind of fatigue in practice.
Are you allowed to wear it in meets?
I've been doing some research on it, and right now we think so, as long as I keep it under my uniform, and that way it doesn't block the big KS. But the NCAA is very strict with these kind of rules, and the Kinetic Arm is fairly new in the javelin world. It was originally created for baseball players. So we're trying to figure out if this particular arm sleeve would be allowed in competition. We're looking into it right now.
And how many other people do you know are using something like that?
As far as javelin goes, I know a couple of my teammates are looking into it. It's a little pricey. It's around like $200, but it's definitely cheaper than a surgery later on. I know the sleeve has already saved me. I came pretty close to Tommy John's, and it's already saved me from that once. But I know there's an Olympic javelin thrower. I can't remember his name, but he uses it. A lot of baseball players use it in games, and I found that even basketball players, volleyball, pickleball, which I don't think often about, racquetball players, like a lot of people use it, and it's definitely growing.
And it's all designed basically the same way, where it kind of goes across your upper torso?
Oh, yeah, it's all designed the same way, and it's all for sports that reach at any moment in any movements. If their arm reaches full extension, it can save them a lot of trouble.
Did you ever have any goals or aspirations of being in the Olympics?
I did when I was little, and when I was a runner. I thought it would be really cool. I had fallen in love with hurdles for about 4 years, and then I snapped out of it and realized running sucks.
It's no fun.
Yeah, and I thought going to the Olympics for javelin would be pretty cool, but the idea of being in the FBI was just a little cooler. So
yeah.
I switched paths pretty quickly.
What is the average age of a javelin thrower in the Olympics? Do you know? I mean, a lot of gymnastics. Yeah, I would say, because a lot of gymnastics, they're 13, 14, 15 years old.
And they max out by 22.
Yeah, but the other disciplines, like the discus thrower and stuff, they're usually not those younger people, are they?
No, professional athletes tend to be a little bit older than the college kids, and they can go pretty long as they spare themselves of injury. Kennesaw just recently signed a new javelin thrower. He just started with us this semester, and he's already been to the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
For what country? For the USA?
No, Qatar.
Oh, Qatar.
Yeah.
Does he play the Qatar?
He's an incredible
Cutter.
athlete.
No, I'm just cutting you.
I got it, yeah.
Yeah, he's an incredible athlete, and I believe he's like 26, and he's already been to the Olympics. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I had another question, but I just blanked. If you've got one, Robert, go ahead.
No. You know, you were second team All-A Sun both your junior and senior years, and now with your number one competitor at least being by the wayside, you know, we're really rooting for you to maintain your status.
Oh, absolutely. I hope I do.
If she's going to the FBI, I've got a great name for her. Let's see if she knows who it is. Are you ready for this? Gracie Lou Freebush.
No, I don't know that name.
You know who that is?
I didn't even hear what you said.
Gracie Lou Freebush.
Gracie Lou Freebush.
Yeah.
No.
She was the FBI agent. Sandra Bullock played her, and they needed somebody in Miss Congeniality to be the pageant, to find somebody. And that would be a good job for her.
You know, I feel bad for the guy or the woman who she decides to track down 10 years from now, and you know she's already used all her rounds, and she's like, wait, here's a stick. I can hit that guy from, and it's going to happen. She's going to be launching things, and people will be like, who the heck is arresting me?
Ironically, I've already started practicing fighting with a javelin, and I can twirl it around my body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun? Like they have at the like they had at the NFL skills test, where they hit the moving targets, take a javelin and try to hit the moving targets as they go across the field.
Let me just say that had she been around for the Zulu Wars, the Zulu might have won a few more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh gosh. So, give us a goal of what you want your longest throw to be this year.
What is your current longest throw ever?
My current PR is 44.54 meters.
Which, because I'm from the United States, equates to how many feet?
Between 140, 150 maybe.
Okay.
Probably like 140. So hopefully this year I would love to hit 50 meters, but if I'm going to be realistic, I'd be pretty happy with a 47, 48.
It's such a tight competition. It's kind of like watching the Olympics where first to 15th, is all only off by this much. So, here you've been training for 5 years and you're just looking to add 9 feet. If you add 9 feet, you'd be really, really stoked.
If I could add 9 feet, and like time it correctly and place it in like just the right spot, in terms of like where other girls are throwing, 9 feet could probably get me to nationals, first rounds at least.
So what is the difference between throwing it? You said 140 meters is your best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
140 feet.
Yeah, 140
meters is crazy.
Yeah, that'd be. So what's the difference between what gets you from 140 to 145? Timing.
It's a lot of timing. Javelin doesn't require a whole lot of strength. It's a very technical sport. You got to have insane mobility, insane flexibility, and you have to be able to time everything from your left foot hitting the ground to your hip turning to your shoulder following through, all like milliseconds after each other, but they absolutely cannot happen at the same time or the throw will be terrible. So when you throw a javelin correctly, they say it's supposed to feel like a car crash because you're bringing so much momentum into it until the very final step when your left foot hits that ground. All of that momentum transfers from you into the javelin, so you have to stop. And you also can't cross the line or they're going to scratch the throw. So you're supposed to be able to come in with such force and put so much momentum into the javelin that your whole spine will rattle.
That sounds fun later in life.
Yeah, javelin throwers don't last very long. We are very prone to injury.
So let me ask you this. I just thought about it while you were saying that. Does it reach your fingertips when you throw it? Like when somebody throws a football, the last thing that's on it is their fingertips, and they spin it. Is the javelin, when you throw it, are you trying to spin it?
Is it spiraling?
Is it spiraling, or are you just throwing it and it's not?
I think the focus isn't so much on a spiral. Some javelin throwers will make it spiral. Some others may not. There are a lot of different grips that you can use for a javelin. I know for us, we have it laying across our palm, and we just kind of wrap our fingers around. But in some European countries, they put it right between their pointer and their middle finger, and they throw it almost like a baseball.
Oh, wow.
And it's all dependent on the thrower's preference. No grip is really better than another. But as you throw it, you'll want to twist your hand outwards. Otherwise, the whole javelin will curve in the air and land sideways, and you won't get nearly as much distance from it.
So when you throw, normal things is like this, and you're saying it's opposite of that. It's towards the inside.
Kind of, yeah. Definitely towards the inside. And it just is to make sure that the javelin's flying so straight and keeps the aerodynamic properties of it, because once it turns sideways, you lose
yards.
Everything.
Or
Yeah.
distance, anyway.
Yeah.
That's wild. I know we referenced last time Caitlin was on about Lamar throwing it on the Revenge of the Nerds, that aerodynamics, how important that was. Crazy movie. So what's your worst throw in competition, and what happened?
My worst throw was probably last year at the University of Tennessee. I should not have thrown this meet at all. I don't know why we did. But right before the javelin started, it just starts hailing.
Oh, wow, that's cold.
And it's freezing. We're trying to keep on as many layers as we can while not restricting our movements. So we're all out there miserable. And like every few minutes, it's changing from hail to rain to I think at one point snow. And I don't even think I hit 40 meters that day. I think that was the one meet of the whole year where I didn't even touch 40 meters. I think I threw maybe 39 meters, and it was so bad out there that there was a puddle at the end of the javelin runway. And after every thrower, they would get like a little squeegee, and they would scrape it. They would try to scrape it out of there and pull all the water out so that the girls wouldn't hurt themselves. And it was like, at this point, just cancel the event.
So are all the javelin records broken in Denver when they're a mile high and they have higher
I have no
altitude? I don't know. Can you throw it easier there? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Throw
I have no
everything.
idea.
You can throw everything easier there.
Yeah. So I would be interested to see if the javelin records for the U.S. were set in Denver, Colorado, or somewhere at a higher altitude.
They probably don't allow that. Just looking at her schedule for later in the year, the ASUN Championships will be in Jacksonville, sea level. The next level, the first round of the NCAA, Jacksonville, sea level. The finals, Austin, Texas. So they're probably,
They control
not a lot
where
of
they let them
meets in
throw the.
Boise. I think Boise's
But,
like 8,000
but
feet.
they are in Corvallis, Oregon, right? Is that the outdoor?
Well, but Oregon's only, that's pretty close to the beach. They're not
Yeah.
very. Not
Oregon
very
is
high
the national championships,
National
the very
championship,
last
yeah.
meet. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, what else you want to share with us, Caitlin?
I don't know if I have anything else to share. I know my customers are all starting to look at me right now, so I think I actually got to go
Well,
take care
we
of them.
appreciate you taking time out to spend with us again.
Of course,
Absolutely.
I'm always happy to be here.
Thank you very much.
Put them up together for Caitlin Coral. Hooty-hoo. So, Robert, we had a fairly successful show tonight.
We did, and once again to you, Chuck, for all the viewers, thank you for coming in and gutting this one out.
Thank you, buddy.
And
I'd hate to miss a show.
you haven't yet.
I have not, nor will I plan on it.
I miss all sorts of garbage because of my crazy existence, but not this guy.
Yeah. So let's go over the schedule one more time for this week of what we got coming up in Owls Sports. Again, we know the girls play tomorrow night here against, I think we said Eastern Kentucky.
That's correct.
And then Saturday, the girls play against, I think it's Queen. We play Jacksonville State.
I have so many schedules on this whole
I know
thing.
you do. You got to. Robert's checking it out.
Yeah, we have. That's the first one. So no, those are both guys.
Yeah, don't forget the doubleheader Saturday. Girls game and guys game, both for $8. It's Alumni Day. I'm an alumnus, so I will be going. Me and my brother Bill Sterrett will be going to catch up on that game.
Yeah, but the women's lacrosse start against Reinhardt on Friday. Softball team starting up on Friday as well. Baseball team is next Friday. So
Lacrosse is Thursday, so we're into a lot more sports all of a sudden.
lacrosse is Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah, this Friday versus Reinhardt.
All right, cool. All right.
But lots of cool stuff wrapped around this run that the men are on right now.
Yep, and like I said, the guys won 8 in a row, and I think there's. Hey, Garrett, Carrick, how many have we won in a row at home? 8, 11 or 12. So we're going for the big win. If we win these next 3, we're going dancing. That's my prediction. When we win these next 3, we're going dancing.
Well, we're 10-0 at home this year. So
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
yeah, that's not bad.
No. So good luck to the Owls this week of all endeavors, whatever sport it is. We wish the Owls luck, and we will see you next Wednesday night right here at Miller's Ale House. And until then, a big hooty-hoo. Thanks to Garrett, Caitlin, and Stan Kirk for being on the show with us tonight. Good night. We'll see you next week.